Every student can learn, just not on the same day or the same way.
Thank you, George Evans, for introducing the philosophy for this adult education framework presentation. I'm Emily Polden, and today I'll be walking you through some adult learning concepts that highlight this philosophy. The topics we'll be focusing on will include andragogy, experiential learning, self-directed learning, and learning environments. Andragogy and motivation. Motivation is one of the 6 assumptions of andragogy, and it is also implicit in the other 5. Knowles explains that adults are more responsive to internal motivators rather than external motivators. This can be supported by self-determination theory, which says that people have a drive for intrinsic needs such as growth, autonomy, relatedness, and competence. Students will often have a combination of internal and external motivators, which will guide them to how and when they decide to pursue further learning. Motivation is unique to each individual. Those who are conscientious are more likely to hand in assignments on time and fully complete tasks. Those who are more open to experiences also perform well. Some students who perhaps lack intrinsic motivation because they're unsure of their future may be less motivated to be academically successful. And this is where experiential learning comes in. According to Kolb, our personal learning style will contribute to how we learn through our own personal experiences. The learning styles he proposes are convergent, divergent, assimilative, and accommodative. Ideally, a learner will touch all 4 quadrants. As individuals, students will develop their learning style based on their genetics, life experiences, and current needs. By understanding their learning style, students can boost their learning abilities and skills by targeting more specific educational sessions. Educators can design exercises and individualize learning to help their students connect better with the material. And this brings us to self-directed learning. This is a learning process for individuals to be able to complete lessons on their own time in a way that works best for them. Although post-secondary institutes include lectures and discussion groups, this is often the way that most adults develop new skills, ideas, knowledge, experience, and attitudes. To achieve this, Caffarella has outlined 4 goals that motivate a learner in self-directed learning: to aspire to gain knowledge or to develop a skill, to be self-directed or to take control of their life, to be inspired by transformational learning with critical reflection, to emancipate themselves by means of social justice or political action. And when people consider self-directed learning, they wrongly assume that it's an all or nothing concept and that you learn completely by yourself. In reality, most self-directed learners are supported by educators or coaches, and you don't have to become an expert to be successful. Because of its versatility, people from all over the world use self-directed learning, and you probably have too. With most post-secondary students' education being altered by the pandemic, online learning has become the current standard at many post-secondary institutes. Online learning gives students new opportunities to collaborate and engage with educators, as well as an increased flexibility in their daily lives. Without the barrier of some educators refusing to use technology, learning has become much more accessible to many students, especially those with exceptionalities who rely on technology to complete their tasks. Online learning also provides an opportunity for a student to access an institute's educational materials without having to be part of their world, allowing for decongestion of urban zones with a high external student population. It also allows for these courses to be much more affordable to many as they have better control over their living arrangements. However, some institutes, such as Virginia's community colleges, have found that online instruction has led to an increased amount of course withdrawals and failures, with an 8.5% reduction in course completion. Other colleges have found that during the pandemic, online learning lowered the average student's grades. Students reported that they had difficulty concentrating on their assignments and felt isolated from their educators and peers. For people with exceptionalities, having an individualized learning plan and being able to complete coursework on their own time can be very beneficial to both their academic success and mental health. Online learning especially can remove some barriers when it comes to how the person is perceived by educators. This is one student's comment. Recognizing that each student has their own individual needs when it comes to learning is the first step in setting them up for success. My interpretation of every student can learn, just not on the same day and not in the same way, is that teaching and learning should not be approached by a one size fits all method. I believe that if educators took the time to create their lessons in a way that allowed for a variety of learning approaches based on the students' learning styles, motivation, goals, and learning environment, students would feel more supported to succeed and gain more confidence in their skills and knowledge.